Hello and welcome to another episode of Country Bumpkin Creates. My name is Lucy. You can find me on Instagram as country_bumps, and you can find me on Ravelry as Country Bumps. I'm coming to you from a rather dismal, wet Dartmoor, which is in the southwest of England. I said another episode because I can't remember what episode number we're on. Put it down here. As usual, I'm flying by the seat of my pants. Got quite a bit to talk about today. I've got knitting and sewing, no crochet or nothing worth talking about. I've done a few rows on a blanket, but that's about it. So knitting and quite a bit of sewing. I think Sewing Bee has reignited my sewing bug, and also finishing another of my finished objects, which I'll show in a minute because I need to do a costume change, as meant there's some sewing that I wanted to do to wear with a jumper that I'd finished. So how are we all? It's been a while again. I'm not on best form today. My IBS kicked off in the night, so I was up a couple of times, which was not pleasant. But it's either record today or it wouldn't get recorded until, probably another 2 weeks, because we're actually going away on holiday. It's like, what is this phenomenon of holidays? Next week it's our wedding anniversary on Thursday next week, the 16th of June. 15 years, man. 15 years we'll have been married next week. It's gone like in a blink of an eye. Really has gone in a blink of an eye. We had booked to go to Pisa in Italy in April of 2020, but we all know how that went. So we'd booked our flights with EasyJet, had EasyJet vouchers to use by the end of this month, or the end of April they had to be booked. So we've booked 3 nights away. Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. 3 nights away in Edinburgh next week. We go on Tuesday. Fingers crossed if our flight doesn't get cancelled, because flights are being cancelled left, right and centre here at the minute, which is a bit concerning. So it'll be our first holiday since October 2019. We had 2 nights in London a little while ago when we went to Harry Potter World, but it's hardly a holiday. So we're going on a little short city break. Sorry, my hay fever is kicking my butt at the moment and my eyes are really itchy, so I have to apologise if I'm itching more than normal. Should we get on with the show? Shall we? Okay, let's get on with the show. Okay. First FO, I finally finished my Advent socks. This is the second pair. I've gifted 1 pair already to my sister. So I started knitting this tube on the 1st of December, and it's taken this long to finish. This is a skein of yarn by, oh bugger, they don't die anymore. Hold please. I've got a little basket with self-striping yarn up there. It is Twisted Limone, that's who. And this was the Ice Queen colourway. So 3-stripe repeat, and my aim was to do 3 stripes a day every day in December, but life had other, I ended up working quite a bit. When you work in a supermarket, December's busy. um didn't always have the mental capacity to pick up a knitting needle at the end of the day. So this, yeah, like I say, this was the Ice Queen colourway, and I just picked it up every now and again, did a few more stripes, you know, here and there, and then went to the cinema. What did we go and see? Oh, James Bond. Went to see the new James Bond at the end of last year. Was it the end of last year? When did we go to that? God knows when we went to that. Anyway, when it came out, I'm sure it was the end of last year, November time. Couldn't have been, because I started these in December. Anyway, they've been like cinema knitting and when I haven't had the brain space to think about anything else, knitting, and eventually we've got them done. That's really annoying me now, because they couldn't have been cinema knitting. Anyway, ignore, I'm just rambling now. So yeah, so they've just been sort of sat in a project bag, and I've just picked them up every now and again, and eventually got the tube finished and knit. And then I've used this blue speckle. I've got a feeling it's a Mr. B's, but, or Bird Street Yarn, but I'm not. They will forever be Mr. B's. I'm sorry. I'm not 100% sure what colourway it is. It was just a random scrap that I thought went quite well. But this is Deep by Bird Street Yarn. It's like a navy blue colour. It's coming out, it's darker than what it's showing on screen. So yeah, and I ran out of this contrast literally on the bind off, so I've had to do half of the bind off in the Deep colourway, but once they're on my feet, nobody's going to know. So yeah, they're done. It's got me intrigued now as to when I went to James Bond and what was I knitting on at James Bond, because I definitely took knitting to James. Oh, I was knitting on my Musselburgh hat at James Bond. That's what I knit. I knew I knit something at James Bond. Yeah, so that's my socks. The second FO is one that I am wearing. I'm wearing my Molka. I think that's how, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's the boobies bar. So it's got blue-footed boobies on it and other birdies. So you've got a little Molka flash there. So this I am wearing. I'll stand up and tilt you down a tad. Is the Maritimo. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's got this lace detail. It's got 2 sections of lace detail down here, and it's got one on the sleeve. And then I did it in this. This is the Crookshanks colourway from Nora George Yarns. The green I used is Dollar from Jelly Bean Yarns, and then this brown contrast, which is you only use very little of that. You do like, you outline, you cast on with it here, and you outline with it. Is Hot Chocolate by Ted Knits. Let's move you back up again. So it's knit bottom up, so you cast on 11 million stitches and then knit up, and then obviously when you split for your sleeves, you then work backwards and forwards, so it's quite a bit of purling, but very little sleeve island, which was nice. My flabby arms. So I knit the, it's not that size inclusive, unfortunately, and I think I knit the biggest size, which was 54. I couldn't get a gauge. I was in between, and when I worked out like how many stitches per inch I had and how many inches around, it would be. I was between the largest and the second to largest size, so I knit the largest size, and I think it's quite nice. It's got quite a bit of drape to it. Yeah, I didn't alternate skeins. This was a yarn that I initially knit a Madewell cardigan out of, and I hated it. It just didn't fit me. I don't know whether I didn't swatch as you do, and then I just sort of like probably didn't knit my true size. Yeah, I think I've got bigger bazumas than I thought I had. It just didn't fit, and it sat on my desk for possibly 2 to 3 years. Just sat there, and I thought I'll unravel it one day. I knew I would never wear it again, and I knew that the yarn is too nice and too expensive to sit there in a cardigan that will never be used. So I unravelled it one day. I took the bull by the horns, unravelled it, and then last summer I attempted to knit a no, not Novelli, not Maritimo, Miserina with the hot chocolate contrast. No, it wasn't. It was graphite contrast, which was like a grey. So it picked up on some of the speckles in here. Yeah. Again, didn't swatch. Didn't fit. The blocking gods were not in my favour, so I frogged yet. This sweater, or this yarn, has been frogged twice. And the third time, lucky, I've actually got a completed jumper that I absolutely, or t-shirt that I absolutely love with this colourway. Is it my colour? Probably not. Do I care? No, because I love it. Yeah. So that's FO jumper FO number 1. Just going to take a quick break and do a costume change, and I will show you jumper FO number 2. Okay, I'm back. Done a costume change. So what I am wearing now is my Armour sweater, AMA sweater. It's a cropped sweater. Let me whip back a bit. So it comes to, like, my hips are here. So it comes to where my hips are. What I'm wearing underneath I will talk about in the sewing section of this podcast. So like I say, this is the Armour sweater, AMA sweater. Can't remember who it's by. I haven't got the pattern here with me, sorry. So you do these like pearl blips. I knit this out of Bird Street yarn in their DK. The main colour is aubergine, so the speckle is aubergine, and then this colour, it's like a dark aubergine colour, is figgy. And as soon as I saw these two colours, I was like, I need a sweater. I need a sweater in those colours. So last time I went to Flock, I purchased, so you do I-cord on the neck and on the sleeve, but on the body you just do this short bit of ribbing, which I've blocked it so it is staying down, but if I find that it's going to be flipping up, I will unpick it and just do a I-cord bind off all the way around. I was going to do that initially, and then I was like, no, trust your instinct, go with the pattern. So we'll see. We will see. What again? This was quite size inclusive. I've got a feeling I knit the 2X or the 3x of this pattern. Yeah. So it's got quite a wide neck, but and it's you can lengthen it because it's top down. So but I just really like the contrast of these pearl stitches, and it's quite a boxy. You know, you can see it's a boxy, but it's got really nice drape to it. The yarn, I can't say enough about the yarn. You know me, and this is a bit of a Bird Street podcast. So we need to take a shot every time I say Bird Street yarn. But John and Claire, their yarns are amazing. And I've cast something else on in their yarn as well, so you'll see that in a moment. Yeah, nothing bad to say about either of the Maritimo or the Armour sweater. It's been out ages, and it's always been like one of those, like, I really need to knit that, I really need to knit that. And as soon as I saw this yarn, I was going to do a colourwork sweater with the figgy as a colourwork, and I just couldn't find one that I really liked. And I was watching somebody else, a different podcast, and I can't for the life of me remember who it was now. Nope, sorry, I can't remember who it was. And they were at a show. Oh, I was really annoyed. They were at a show earlier this year, and they showed somebody had a sample of this on there. I keep touching it because it's got a really nice texture here. So I keep it looks like I'm rubbing my boobies, but I'm not. Yeah, they had a sample on their stand at a show, so I was like, ooh, I know what I can use that yarn for, and therefore the Armour sweater was born. We've got Flock at the weekend, which is a get together hosted by John and Claire of Bird Street in Bristol on Saturday. So looking forward to catching up with my ladies, because we haven't been together for so long. And I miss my ladies. You know that when life just gets in the way, everybody's, we're all busy, all of us at the moment. And trying to get together has just been impossible, really. So would have been the last Flock that we saw each other. So looking forward to spending some time with my ladies and seeing everyone else at Flock this weekend. Yep. And then there is John Arbon's mill open day. It's the first one post-pandemic. Open weekend this weekend. So I might see what the weather's like. Husband's off on Sunday, so I might see if he fancies a little trip out to have a wander around John Arbon. See what's going on up there. Yes, so that's it for FOs. It's not too bad, is it? 2 sweaters and a pair of socks. Or 2 pairs of socks, actually. But, yeah. So, shall we get on to works in progress? Get those shots ready, because we've now got another Bird Street mention. So, when this is the golden hour colourway, and when you see, we're all yarn lovers. When you see a yarn and it's like, oh my god, I need that in my life. this was one of those yarns, and I knew I needed a sweater's quantity of it in my life. I'm doing pretty good from knitting from stash this year. That's not to say I'm not buying any, but I'm being more thoughtful with my purchases. Most of the purchases that I've bought this year have been like the Bird Street Top of the Pops Club, and I'm also doing the Lay Family Yarn Squiddle Village. I'm getting their chapter packs every month. There's been probably, yeah, and I did buy, on my last podcast, I'll show it. I think I've got it out here. Yes, I have. I was talking about last time about my, I wanted to knit a blue and white stripy sweater. I'll show the yarn that I chose for that. But that was with my birthday money, so don't quite count, does it? So yeah, I've been more thoughtful with my purchases this year. Anyway, so yeah. So this has been on my stash for quite a while. It's got the old Mr. B label on it. Since last year sometime, when it first came out, and I was like, oh my god, I need that. So I have cast on a summer sorrel sweater. Let me get you a picture. It's difficult to find a picture that hasn't got pattern bit on it. Right, there's the, so it's the sorrel. There's a like a normal sorrel, which is long sleeved, and then there's this, which is the summer sorrel, which I've got a feeling the normal sorrel's in DK, but don't quote me on that. So this is the summer sorrel in fingering weight yarn. So you can see it's got these like, let me try and find it better. There's a close-up without showing you. So it's got these like, what they call them, dip stitches. On the pattern. And I initially, this has been cast on twice, this sweater. I initially started it with some yarn from the Woolen Witch, which I got at the Southern Wool Show last year at Newbury Racecourse, and it was a 3 skein fade, and I started it with the lightest one. And these, I messed up the short rows, which was my fault because I wasn't counting correctly. And then when I did the dip stitches, they just weren't showing up very well because the yarn was like a very undyed yarn with lots of with some speckles on it. So it just wasn't, they weren't showing up very well. So I frogged that. And then I was like, I really want this sweater because I really like it. And I was like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And I was like, oh, I know. I had a little shop in the stash. And I was like, yeah, golden hour, that'll do it. So this is where I'm at so far. So I've finished, there's 3 charts. I've finished the first chart, which was like 37 rows or whatever. And now I'm on the second chart. So you do an I-cord cast on. I've never done an I-cord cast on. So that was a lot. But there's instructional video. I would say this pattern is worth every single penny. I forgot to say who it was by. I'm sure you all know. It's Woolen Pine. And there are instructional videos for nearly every step of this this pattern. There's one for the cast on, doing the dip stitches, the increases that you do, yeah, short rows. There's a video for every, so even if you're new to sweater knitting, then this guides you all the way. So yeah, so I cord cast on, then some short rows at the back, and then you start, so it's a round yoke, and then you wear it so the purl side is out, because in between your dip stitches you're doing these purl sections, and I was like, oh, but is that going to show the yarn off to its full potential? But I think it will, actually. I think, and so I was considering doing the body like stockinette, but then I thought it's not going to look right with this bit being purled and that bit being stockinette, so I'm going to go and stick with the stockinette side. That's a bit better, that's a bit truer colour wise. So I think you're not going to, that this is the right side, or you know what would be the stockinette side, but I think, to be honest, I do quite like the purl side. So yeah, and I'm loving the knit, actually. It's extremely well written pattern. There's charts, but there's written instructions for those charts as well, so I'm not really a chart knitter, I must admit. I'm not alternating skeins on this bit. Whether I will on the body, I don't know. They were, Claire, this was a special order, so they were all dyed together, so, and I can't see much of a difference between them, to be honest, so I'm just going to wing it, probably. It's not obvious. I didn't alternate skeins in this. It's just a faff, isn't it, alternating skeins? And it's only, you know, nobody's going to come up and say, oh, you didn't alternate skeins on that. Well, if they do, they'll get a punch. So don't be dissing other knitters' work. I'm tired. Go with it, I'm tired. I've put a bit more work into my dotted rays shawl, the neon shawl of dreams. I think last time I showed it I was down here, so I'm getting to the greens and mints now. This, don't ask me what the yarns are, they're all minis that were, oh, that's like showing blue, but it's not, it's more mint green, or like a spearmint colour. So I'm just plugging away at that again when I need some mindless knitting, because it's just backwards and forwards. Garter, or if I'm in between projects I've been picking it up, because there was a few days where I was like, don't know what to knit, I don't know what to cast on. I'd finished my Maritimo, I'd finished something else that I was working on. It was like, ugh, what do I knit, what do I knit, what do I knit? So that's what I knit. And then my mum, my sister and I went to see the new Downton Abbey movie, which was amazing. It's not a brilliant story, but it was nice to reconnect with the Downton clan again. So I needed some cinema knitting, and I've had this skein of yarn caked up for a while. This is in a little Hide and Hammer bag that I got on a D-stash. It's perfect for a little sock project. This is a Nicole C. Mendez, and it's the rainbow colourway, and the cuff is just an orange. I've got a feeling it's a coop knit, but I'm not 100%. It was just, I found it and it went well with this, so I was like, oh, that'll do. I've only got, it's not a mini because it's 30, I had 30 grams, so I don't know what it's from, where it's from, but it was just in my leftovers. So I was like, that'll be perfect for this. So I cast that on and then started, I think I did a couple of rows like the night before I went to the cinema, and then when we were at the cinema I got like down here, so got quite a bit of cinema knitting done. And then again I've just been picking it up, doing a few rows here and there. It's good. I've got a physio appointment on Monday because I've got really bad plantar fasciitis in my feet, which standing in self-service for 4 hours last week really didn't help. But there we go. Yeah, so, and it's I've had it for a while and it's been manageable, but now my left foot particularly, whenever I walk on it, feels like my heel bone's going to come out the bottom of my foot. Not pleasant. So I've bitten the bullet and I've booked a private physio appointment on Monday, because if I go to the GP it's going to be months and I can't live with it for months. And you know, I'm in the situation where I'm able to pay for it, so I paid for it. So hopefully she'll be able to sort me out with at least some exercises to do and things like that to help, because when we're in Edinburgh I anticipate we're going to be doing quite a bit of walking. So yeah, that's it for whips. I've got other whips, but they're the ones that I'm actively working on. So that's it for the knitting portion. Now we're going to talk about sewing. My little sewing machine has been hot. Its little needles have been working hard, bless it. So I knew I knew this sweater would be cropped. So I wanted something like a tunic, and I looked everywhere and I was like, there's nothing that I can find. And then I was like, oh, I know what I've got. So I bought the Embody collection by Jacqueline Tislak. It's published by Pom Pom, and it is there are knitting patterns in here, so you get, so it's like a capsule wardrobe effectively. So you get the Darren sweater, which you can have as a cardigan, you can have a long sleeved version, or there's a short sleeved cropped version. So all these options are available. There's a cropped cardigan, so all these options are available. You can have it there as like a sleeveless, like a long vest, button up vest. So all these options are within there, and there's things about bicep adjustment, sleeve adjustment, hip adjustment, if you want to put bust darts in, all that sort of stuff. It is comprehensive. And then there's a shawl pattern, but also there are sewing patterns. One is for the sewing pattern is this wool fork, so it comes, you can have it as a long dress, you can have it as a crop tee, you can have it as a sleeveless tunic, which is what I did, and I'll show you in a second. So there's the dress again with pockets and a waist tie. There's the dress without pockets or a waist tie. So if I show you here, so these are the iterations that you can do. So there's the sleeveless tunic, which is what I did, the dress with a waist tie, sleeved tunic, cropped t-shirt, cropped vest, and then the dress with pockets. So I chose to do this, and I will take my sweater off and I will show you. Again, comes in massive amount of sizes. It goes from a 32-inch bust up to a 64.5-inch bust. The patterns come on a PDF, so you can either print individual A4 sheets and stick them together, or send them off to a copy shop, which is what I did. We've got a copy shop in Plymouth, which is not that far from where I am. Very cost effective, and then what I do is I then trace the pieces onto Swedish tracing paper, and that's what I use as my pattern pieces. And I had this material set aside for something else. I can't remember what else I was going to make with it, but I was going to do something else with it. So I had this is like a chambray. So don't look at the facings. I'm not very good at facings. Very easy to sew. I sewed it within like an afternoon. You do French seams on the front and the back. And then just so you've got bust darts, which probably aren't in the right place for me, but I'm wearing it under a cropped sweater. I probably would never wear it just as a tunic, to be honest, because I don't like my flabby arms. So I'd probably have a jumper or a cardigan on with it anyway. So yeah, and then so I will show my faithful assistant here, who is also wearing one. Let me take you out of my tripod a minute, and then I'll turn you around. So this is the tunic front. Again, I messed up the facings on this one. I'm not very good with faces. I haven't got the patience. I'm not a very patient sewer. So that's the back. It comes down. Sorry, I turned you off putting it back in. It comes down. It covers my bum. It comes down like mid thigh on me, and I'm 5'2". So, but again, there's very good instructions on how to shorten or lengthen it if you want to. So yeah, I had this chambray in pink and blue. I've got a cropped soldotna sweater that's got this blue in it, so that's why I made this one. I'm not going to put that on because I need to change again in a minute. And then we've got a cool new fabric shop opened in Tavy. That we've got a shop that sells fabric, but it's more a quilting shop. So they've only got like quilting cottons, and they've got a little bit of like linen mix, but not you know what I would call dressmaking fabrics. So I went into her the other day and I got this enzyme washed linen, which I want to make another one to go specifically with this jumper as well. Let's be honest, this pink, I can wear it with any of my sweaters that I've knit. So It'll be a good layering piece with anything, because I tend, gravitate to that. So I think these two together will look lovely. So this is an enzyme washed linen, and I need 2 meters to make this top for me. I can't remember which size I made. I think I made size 8, which is 50.5-inch bust, which is a UK like 20, size 20. No, it's not. It says a UK 24. I'm not that big, but I wanted it to have a little bit of drape. The UK, I go between like a size 18, 20 UK sizes, and the 20, what they say is a 20, and this is a 44-inch bust, and I think that would have been just a tad too tight, or not giving me the drape that I wanted. So I went slightly bigger. Yeah, I went slightly bigger on that. So I want to try and get it done before we go to Edinburgh, but it's now Thursday. If I get my act together, I could get it cut out tomorrow, possibly, and then it all depends if we go to John Urban on Sunday or not. Because Sunday I could get it done. I could get it all done on one day on Sunday. So we'll see. We'll see. And I've got Monday as well, to be fair. I've got my physio early in the morning, so. Right, I'm just going to go and do another change a moment, and then I'll be back. So my other sewing project that I did, the fabric shop that I talked about that's in town, is called So Much More, MOOR. I'll put it down here. They're really active on Instagram. Made a shop sample of this, which is the sagebrush top by the Friday Pattern Company. In this, she made it in it was like a lighter pink. I need to iron it better. A light pink of this gingham, and I was like, oh, I really like that. And I knew she did this wine coloured gingham, so it's got this little ruffle along here, and then you gather the front, so it's got this gather over the bust, which is really nice. Poofy sleeve with some elastic, and again comes to, doesn't quite cover my bum, but the bottom of my bum is here, so, but with jeans on, it's really lovely. And it's got this on the back, part of the neck binding creates this little tie, so it's got like a peephole, like a keyhole top there. And again, the sizing range on this, I think they must be American, because the sizing range is absolutely amazing. This goes from an extra small, which is 32 to 33 inches, up into a 7X, which is 59 to 60 inches on the bust. So again, really size inclusive. I made the 2X, which is 49 to 50 inch bust. Again, I wanted it a bit more roomy. I didn't want it too fitted. I think that's, it's supposed to be. And again, I needed to, it says on this 2.1 meters. I didn't need the 0.1. You can jiggle it around and I did it in 2 meters. So I can't remember how much this material was a meter. £9. I can't remember, because I bought quite a bit that day. I bought that linen as well. I've got a feeling it was... Anyway, I've got a top that I really love. If it cost me 30 quid, it cost me 30 quid, you know, and I've got the pattern now. The pattern was 20 quid. It's quite... This is what I don't understand, is people will pay quite happily for a sewing pattern that's 20 quid. Yet I've seen people begrudge paying £9 for a knitting pattern that's probably got more work in it, to be honest, than a sewing pattern. So I think we need to get it out of our heads that knitting patterns are expensive, because they're not. They are too cheap. Anyway, that's just a little rant there. So that's, like I say, the sagebrush top. I highly recommend it. Again, really easy to sew. Instructions are really clear. You could sew it in a day easily. I got all but the sleeves done in an afternoon. I don't run out of steam. Yeah, so next on my sewing agenda is this. It's a new pattern by Marilla Walker. I was going to say I've knit her stuff before. No, I've sewed her stuff. Her Roberts collection. I've done the dungarees, I've done the top, I've done the Maya top, I've done the dungaree dress from the Roberts collection, and I've done the jumpsuit. So this is, it's called the Anning shirt dress. If I remember, I'll put a picture of what drew me to it. So this is the view that I want to do, view B, which has got a yoked front. And my fabric shop does a double gauze, and she's got like a real nice tealy blue colour that's got, every now and again, it's got like a gold fleck in it. So I think it recommends medium weight denim, corduroy, linen, cotton poplin, or cotton double gauze. So yeah, I ordered this from the Fold line, and it is only a PDF pattern, but they will print it for you. They've got an AO size printer. So I ordered it printed, and it comes in two size ranges. So size rate, I was torn as to get size 1, because I would say I could have got away with the top end of a size 1. So size 1 ranges from a 29.5 bust, or should I say full bust, is 31.5 inches to 48 inches. So, and sizes, the second size, so size range 2, full bust goes from a 42 inch up to a 62 inch. So again, I'll probably make the 50 inch full bust size. Because, but I don't know, because the finished size would be a 50 inch bust. So I don't know whether it's meant to be like, you know, it's not meant to be fitted, but I don't want it to look like a tent either. So I think I need to do some proper measuring and see. But then, you know, this one says I did the 2X. This one says the full bust is 57 inches. So, and it's not too big on me, so I think I will go with the size, that size. Yeah. It's like a tent, I'll take it in, won't I? So that's once I get, when payday comes, because I've got expensive weekend coming up with Flock and then going away. So when I get paid, I'm going to go and get that fabric, but that'll give me time to get the pattern traced and cut out, ready for fabric cutting. So that's it. Oh, I was going to show you the yarn that I got. I don't know exactly what pattern I will, sorry for the creaking, I don't know what pattern I'm going to knit yet for this, but it will be out of the Vera Valimaki Stripes book. So I got a voucher from my mum, my sister and my niece for my birthday, so I had £70 for Bird Street. So I ordered myself 2 skeins of Snowfall. So it's got these beautiful speckles in it, and 2 skeins of Deeper. So they will be my blue and white striped sweater. So I don't know whether I'll cast them on next or not. I might do, actually. I might do. I haven't even finished. I haven't split for sleeves on that one. I'm already thinking of the next sweater I'm going to knit. Yeah. So they will be a blue and white striped. I don't know. I think I might do like a short sleeve tee, because I can always wear a long, you know, in the winter I can wear a long sleeve tee under it. So I'll probably do it as a short sleeve, and then yeah, I might. I don't know yet. I really don't know. I need to mull it over a bit more in my brain before. So yeah, other than that, there's not a lot exciting happening that I can think of. We are planning to go to Yarningham in July. I can't remember the exact date, 19th and 20th of July, something like that. Anyway, if you look online, that's in Birmingham. That's always a really good show. So that'd be nice. Have a weekend with my ladies. So if you're going to Flock on Saturday, I will see you there. If not, who knows when the next podcast will be. It'll be whenever I've got stuff to talk about, really. Yeah, hopefully sooner rather than later, Lucy. I hope you've enjoyed it, seeing a bit of a different content with some sewing. I messed up the neck binding on it. Why do we always find flaws with whatever we make? Why don't we just say, look at this magnificent top? But I didn't catch the face, the binding properly, so I had to come back and do it here. So I've got an extra line of stitching. I should have done it on the wrong side, really. rather than just... I was trying to stitch in the ditch, but it didn't quite happen. I would never win sewing bee. I'm loving sewing bee. Anyway, I'm just going to ramble if I sit here much longer. So I will get this uploaded and see you on the flip side. Bye.